وصلي وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا محمد كما تحب وترضى وتصلي عليه. اللهم علمني ما ينفعني وانفعني بما علمتني وزدني علما. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had started off the verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us to test us as to who is best in conduct. الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتِ, He who has created death and life. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Meaning the purpose of creation of the process of death and life is to see who has achieved most in terms of conduct, in terms of deeds, in terms of living his or her life in accordance with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fulfilling his or her purpose in life. And remember, in order for us to do that, there is only one stage of many stages of existence where you can fulfill your life's purpose, and that is planet Earth. So you have a restricted time in terms of every other stage of your life. But in this 50, 60, 70 years on, the Prophet said, my ummah will remain at that stage in terms of age. You have to fulfill, and you have to, firstly, you have to unearth and unravel what is your life's purpose, and then live your life in accordance with your life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He has created you to see and to test who is best in conduct. And if you remember, we discussed how you and I conduct our lives. And Qur'an gives us a clear indication as to how you and I live our lives, which is not in keeping with how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to live our life. Remember, the life of this world is hayatun la'ibun wa lahwun, play and amusement, wazina and adornment, وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ, and mutual rivalry between one another, وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ, and increasing wealth and in children and so on. Right? And these are the various stages of our existence as well on planet Earth, when we go through the stages of play and amusement as children, and then we want to now preen ourselves and look good because we're teenagers, and then we go into the stage of ambition in life when we know career opportunities, ambition, etc., getting married and so on. And then is the final stage when you've arrived, and then you derive your success and you derive your comfort from the fact that you made a success not only of yourself but of your kids. Right? And in the increased amount of wealth and increased amount of kids is a sign of your success, and their success is actually in reality your success. And this is how we end up living our lives, spending our lives, expending our lives, being preoccupied with these issues in life. And in terms of fulfilling the requirement of being the best in conduct, these things can actually be a hindrance and an obstacle as opposed to being a means of you attaining the pleasure of Allah. Quran says, Ya alladhina amanu la tulhikum amwalukum wa la auladukum an dhikrillah. Do not let your children and your wealth be a cause of your spiritual distraction. Because if your wealth, what you possess, and your kids, right, are means of your spiritual destruction, وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ, then in reality, no matter how much of worldly success, judged by worldly standards, you may possess, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will regard you as a failure, and you yourself will be a failure. Khalas. So the earthly and worldly markings of success are nowhere near the divine prescription for success. Right? And what plays a very critical role in terms of us achieving our purpose in life is our lifestyle. Right? Now, our lifestyle is what we had discussed. Now, we discussed the negative aspects of our lifestyle, the way we bring up our children, the way we obsess with our children, the way we have a society now which is child-centered, right? Wherein we go through these phases in life and we attribute success to the amount of wealth that we've earned, to the amount of degree of the children that we have and their successes, and زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ, the things of the world that we love to covet. Minan nisa wal banin, from women, children, and heaped up halls of gold and silver. These are things that we covet, and we spend our time preoccupied with this throughout the day. And I gave you all the examples, if you remember, from going to gym, to fetching your kids, to sending them for extramural activities, to spending the day throughout the day in business, in your shop, and all of that. It's all there to acquire this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now gives you an alternative scenario to the lifestyle that you and I are leading. He's telling you, you have this lifestyle, which is, I'm just calling this the rat race, right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you an alternative in terms of what I would call the human race, right? This is a very lengthy verse of the Holy Quran, and one of my favorite verses. It's Surah An-Nahl. Someone open it up, please. from verses 3 to 16. Surah Al-Nahl, the Bee, verses 3 to 16.
In the first part?
Yeah, the first part. Yeah. I'm sure it's in the first part. We should be towards the end.
What verse, Hafizah?
3 to 16. But go very slowly, right?
No, I can't read on my glasses.
Okay.
Page,
Anybody?
35.
Bismillah, anybody who's got it open?
What verse?
He created the heavens.
The heavens and the earth rightly.
خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is starting off with the process of the creation of the heavens and the earth. Remember, the heavens and the earth, the way you and I understand it, and the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created are two different things. Right? We have what is known as the observable universe, and then you have the unobservable universe. But in terms of what is being said over here, it relates to our experience of heaven and earth on planet Earth. You understand? Planet Earth, there are many other planets out there that they have discovered recently, by the way, for your information, that has an atmosphere which is very similar to planet Earth, which will make it habitable for human beings. At least about, I think there was, the last time, I think it was 9 or 16 planets that they discovered recently, which have an atmosphere which is very similar to Earth, which is habitable by human beings. Which means it has a sun, it has a moon, and the atmosphere in terms of oxygen, whatever it is there, could make it possible for us humans to inhabit it. Right? But here in the context of this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about planet Earth for us. So our heaven as you and I know it, and the earth as you and I know it. Right? خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ. This is very, very important. You've got to understand that the creation of planet Earth and the entire cosmos by extension is not there, right, as Darwinists and evolutionary theorists and physicists will tell you that it is by random selection, number one. Or that, you know what, everything has come into being in the universe, right, is purely through what we would call the Big Bang, and as a result of the Big Bang. So there is no real sequence of events, there is no intent, there is no purpose, as in there is no design. Right? Now, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, because currently all physicists, from the highest ranking ones, Mr. Stephen Hawking himself, all the way lower than Stephen Hawking, are all of the opinion that there is no intent, there is no purpose, and there is no design, and there is no plan to this universe. It's just a result of a cosmic explosion called the Big Bang. At one stage, up until recently, Stephen Hawking on his birthday was met by a whole group of physicists, right? And he said, and he had to acknowledge that the universe as you and I know it has a beginning. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has started off here is to clarify the matter that what Darwinists and evolutionary theorists and physicists and cosmologists out there, the idea of the universe that they give you, that it is a random, just a random sequence, so to speak, unplanned, unintended, and a result of cosmic explosions, right, with no real purpose, with no real plan, and with no real design, is a false theory. So the exact theory upon which all of science revolves today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is refuting in one sentence. He's saying there is a plan, there is an intent, there is a purpose, there is a creator, and there is a divine design in this entire thing. So it's refuting evolutionary biology, it's refuting evolutionary cosmology, it's refuting a whole lot of things. And this is very, very important, because the world view, the dominant world view today is informed by this idea that this world and the universe is a random event, right? And you know what? It could go on. They have the infinite universe theory, right? And they have one day where the world will come to an end. Right? Here, Qur'an is telling you, keep all these ideas on one side, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, this universe that you inhabit has an intent, has a purpose, has a plan and a planner. Khalas. Right? So he's centering you first in terms of belief. And this is very important, because if you look at the worldview out there, many people who have never been exposed to Islam or exposed to any ideology which discusses the purpose of life, they start off with this, that this world you are living in it's just a sequence of random events, how it has come into being. You yourself are an inconsequential sequence or consequence of these events. You just made up a whole lot of genes and this and that and whatever it is, and that's about it. And then you come inside here is the survival of the fittest with Darwinian theory and so on. Prof. Mita showed me something the other day. There was an article by Stephen Hawking, and he stated that if we don't rein in the impact of technology, because man is predisposed, this was interesting, according to Darwinistic theory, man is predisposed to aggression, right? And if his predisposition to aggression, right, is manifest through the misuse of technology, it could lead and spell the destruction of the universe or planet Earth. So Prof. Mita is telling me, see, our idiots don't read Qur'an. Stephen Hawking attributed man's nature, his fitrah, right, and said that his aggression, the natural aggression that is in man, he attributed to Darwinian evolution. Whereas the first thing that the Malaika mentioned about man before his creation was that قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ. Are you going to place as vicegerent on earth he who will create fitna, dissension, trials, tribulations, and وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ, and he will shed blood. He will give in to his aggression to such a degree that he will shed blood. He'll take the lives of people. So what Stephen Hawking attributed to Darwinian evolution, Malaika responded to that before man was even created. Do you understand? So we need to very, very critically read what people put across in scientific articles, because today that is taken as gospel truth. When people read it in newspapers or whatever it is, how many of us, let's be honest, how many of us truly even question it? We don't judge it. We don't question it. Stephen Hawking said it must be true. Right? Yet, when you read a scientific, I'm just using the word here, scientific fact in the Holy Quran, or a scientific, S-I-N-G-N, truth in the Holy Quran, have you noticed your natural disposition would be, oh, what does science have to say about it? Do we not try to confirm it with science? Not that we don't believe in the Qur'an, but we want peace of mind that science also says the same thing. Do the scientists of the world who reject God seek peace of mind? Oh, does God say anything about this? Can you see the mindset that you and I have? We will always want to confirm it through our own investigations in science, and we will take it on face value based on what science says. Otherwise, we'll reserve judgment. You and I will reserve judgment on the verse of the Quran, as opposed to what science has said. Okay, we will agree and accept the Quranic perspective on it when we get some degree of scientific evidence. That is more often than not the attitude of people today. Can you see how ingrained it has become? We look at the Quranic science with skepticism, and we look at science with conviction. We've been schooled into thinking like that. Do you know that? We've been schooled into thinking like that. And this is where the problem arises. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ تَعَالَى اللَّهُ عَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. Exalted is He above what they associate. Here, shirk is not to be only misconstrued to a limited understanding of taking false gods other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our blind faith in science, our blind faith in human knowledge, which is limited human knowledge, and our blind faith in our own abilities, wherein we regard ourselves as the gods of the universe, based on our understanding of the universe, is the greatest shirk today. Why? Man is now claiming, Ana Rabbukumul A'la, I am the Lord Most High. If I don't verify it, if I don't claim the veracity of a statement, then it cannot be true. Human beings now have become gods. We listen more to human beings and believe more in human beings and opinions of human beings than we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decrees and His commands. And this is the greatest shirk that is taking place today. Right? We will not defer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's view on any matter. Now, when I'm talking about us, I don't mean us. I'm talking about the non-Muslims or human beings in particular. Why? Because God is no more in the sphere of knowledge. Do you know that? in the sphere of knowledge today, isn't God divorced from every sphere of knowledge? That's why they call it secular knowledge. That was the separation between religion and state, because secular knowledge came in the Renaissance. And in the Renaissance, because of religion being, so to speak, an obstacle to scientific advancement. You know, like you had, what was his name, man? That famous guy, Galileo. You remember Galileo? Galileo created a different theory of the universe and the planets and the motion of the planets or whatever it is. And it conflicted with the views of the church. And because there was a conflict between science and religion, which has now perpetuated, effectively, since the Renaissance till 2015, God, when I mean God, I mean religion, Allah's religion per se, has now completely been removed from the sphere of science and knowledge, because it doesn't belong in that sphere anymore. This is the greatest shirk of the modern era. The greatest shirk of the modern era is this one, when they've attributed the divine knowledge to themselves. Our knowledge is the knowledge that is to be relied on, that is to be believed in, and every other knowledge, whether you may claim it or whether people may claim it from being from divine sources, will be open to scrutiny until we don't approve of it. Isn't that the greatest shirk? Allah needs your approval. Allah needs man's approval. Right? He give it like this complete. He created man. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِن نُطْفَةٍ فَإِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُبِينٌ. What is it? He created man from a drop of fluid, yet behold, he is disputations openly. Come, let's go.